calmly. You were already in a white dress and your face was radiant. The clock was striking then, too. I remember the band playing and the firing at the cemetery as they carried the coffin. Though he was a general in command of a brigade, there were not many people there. It was raining, though. Heavy rain and snow.
I can see it now.
It is warm today and we can have the windows open, but the birches are not in leaf yet. Father was given his brigade and came here with us from Moscow 11 years ago, and I distinctly remember that at this time in Moscow, the beginning of May, everything was already in flower. It was warm and everything was bathed in sunshine. It's 11 years ago, and I remember it all as though we had left it yesterday. And dear, I woke up this morning and I saw a blaze of sunshine. I saw the spring and joy stirred in my heart, and I had a passionate longing to be back at home again.
The devil it is.
Of course, it's nonsense.
Don't whistle, Masha. How can you? Being at school all day and my lessons till the evening gives me a perpetual headache and thoughts as gloomy as though I were old. These past 4 years that I've been at the high school, I have felt my youth and strength oozing away from me every day, and only one yearning grows stronger and stronger.
To move back to Moscow, to make an end of everything, to sell the house and go back to Moscow.
Yes, to Moscow, and quickly.
Andre will be a professor anyhow. The only difficulty is poor Masha.
Masha will come and spend the whole summer in Moscow every year.
Oh, please, it'll all be managed. I don't know why, it's so fine today, and I'm feeling so lighthearted. I woke up this morning and remembered that it was my name day, and at once I was filled with thoughts of my childhood when Mother was alive. There were such wondrous thoughts, such thoughts.
You are radiant today, looking lovelier than usual. Masha's lovely too. Andre would be nice looking, but he's grown too fat and that does not suit him. And I've grown older and ever so much thinner. I suppose it's because I get so cross with the girls at school. But today when I'm at home and my head doesn't ache and I feel younger than yesterday. I'm only 28. It's quite all right, it's all from God. But it seems to me that if I were married and sitting at home, it would be better. I would love my husband.
You talk such nonsense. I'm tired of listening to you. I forgot to tell you, you'll receive a visit today from Vershinin, the new commander of our battery.
Well, I'll be delighted.
Is he old?
No, not particularly. 40 or 45 at the most. He seems to be a nice fellow. He's not stupid, that's certain. Only he talks a lot.
Is he interesting?
Yes, he's all right. Only has a wife, a mother-in-law, and 2 little girls. It's his second wife, too. He's paying calls and telling everyone he has a wife and 2 little girls. He'll tell you so, too. His wife seems a bit crazy. With her hair in a long braid like a girl, always talks in a high-flow style, makes philosophical references, and frequently attempts to commit suicide. Evidently to annoy her husband. I should have left a woman like that years ago. But he puts up with her and merely complains.
So with one hand, I can lift up 100 to 150. With both hands, I can lift up 2 or even 300 weight. From that, I conclude that 2 or even 3 men can hold twice, if not more.
For hair falling out, half an ounce of naphthalene and half a bottle of alcohol to be distributed and used daily. And write a note. No, I don't want it.
Ivan Romanich, dear Ivan Romanich.
My dear madame.
Tell me, why is it that I'm feeling so lighthearted today? As if I were sailing with the great blue sky above me and big white birds flying over it. Tell me, why is it? What?
My white bird.
When I woke up this morning, got up and watched, I was filled with thoughts that the world was clear and I knew how one ought to live. Ivan Romanich, I know all about it. A man ought to work, to sweat in the toil of his own brow, whoever he may be, and all the ecstasies and happiness in his life lie in that alone. Oh, to be a workman who wakes up before dawn and breaks stones on the road, to be an engine driver, a schoolmaster who teaches children, a shepherd. Oh, to speak nothing of human beings, it'd be better to be an ox, better to be a humble horse, as long as I can work, than it is to be a young woman who gets up at 12, has breakfast in bed, and spends 2 hours dressing. Oh, as one craves water on a hot summer day, I crave work. And if I don't get up and go to work in the mornings, give me up as a friend, Ivan Romanich.
I'll give you up, my dear. I'll give you up.
Father, trained us to get up at 7. Now everyone wakes at 7 and lays in bed till 9 thinking about things. And she looks so serious.
You're so used to looking at me as if I were young and are surprised when I look serious. I'm 20.
The yearning for work. Oh dear, how I understand it. I never worked a day in my life. I was born in cold Isle of Petersburg in a family that knew nothing of work or cares of any kind. I remember when I came home from military school, a valet used to pull up my boots. I used to be troublesome. But my mother looked at me with reverential awe and surprised when others didn't do the same. I was shielded from work, but I doubt they succeeded in shielding me completely. I doubt it. The time is at hand. A mighty avalanche is coming down upon us. A mighty cleansing storm which is coming and soon will be near, will soon blow away the laziness, the indifference, the distaste for work, the rotten boredom out of our society. I'll work. In another 25 or 30 years, everyone will have to work. Everyone.
Well, I'm not going to work.
You don't count.
In another 25 or 30 years, you won't be here, thank God. You'll either kick the bucket or I'll put a bullet through your head, my angel.
See, and I really have never done a stroke of work since I left the university, and that was 25 years ago. See, I know from my newspapers here that people like to bully about they exist, but what they write about, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I can't say. Oh, someone's calling for me. I'll be back directly.
He's got something up his sleeve.
Yes, he went out with a solemn face. Evidently, he's just going to bring you a present.
Oh, what a nuisance.
Yes, it's awful. He's always doing something silly.
I've a sea strand of oak tree green, upon that oak a chain of gold, upon that oak a chain of gold.
You're not very cheerful today, Masha. Where are you going?
Home.
That's odd.
Who got on an egg?
Party?
Never mind, I'll come in the evening. Goodbye, my darling. Once again, I wish you be well and happy. In the old days, when Father was alive, we always had 30 to 40 officers here on name days. It was noisy, but today there's only a man and a half. And it's as still as the desert. Although, I've got the blues today. I'm feeling glum, so never you mind what I'll say. For now, goodbye, my darling.
Oh, how tiresome you are.
I understand you, Masha.
Don't blubber. This way, Lightenberg. Come in. You'll bring something. From the District Council. From the care of Ronald Protopopov. A cake.
Thanks. Thank him.
What?
Thank him from me!
Nanny, dear, give him something to eat. Fairpont, go along. They'll give you something to eat.
Come along, Fairpont Spiridonich, my good soul. Come along. I don't like that Protopopov, that Mikhail Potapich or Ivanich. They ought not to be invited.
I didn't invite him.
Well, that's a good thing.
A samovar? How awful!
Ivan Romanich, what are you thinking about?
I warned you.
My dear, my darlings, my good girls, you are all that I have in this world. I am soon to be 60. I'm but an old man. Without you, I am worthless. You see, my dear, I have held you in my arms since I was a baby. I have loved you since you were so little, and I loved your dear, dear mother.
Why such expensive presents?
Expensive presents. Get along with you. You can understand the wrong. Expensive presents.
My dears, a coroner is here, a stranger. He has taken off his overcoat, children. He's coming here. Anishka, must be nice and polite, dear. And it's time for lunch already. Mercy on us.
Vershinin, I suppose. Lieutenant Colonel Vershinin.
I have the honor to introduce myself. My name is Vershinin. I'm very, very glad to be in your house at last. Oh, how you've grown. Oh,
We are delighted to see you. Please have a seat.
how glad I am, how glad I am. But there were 3 of you sisters. I don't remember your faces exactly, but that your father, Colonel Prozorov, had 3 daughters. I saw them with my own eyes and remember perfectly. Oh, how time passes. Hey ho, how it passes.
Alexander Ignatyevich has come from Moscow.
From Moscow? You've come from Moscow?
Yes, your father was in command of the battery there, and I was an officer in the same brigade. Your face now I seem to remember.
Well, I don't remember you.
Olya! Olya, come! Lieutenant Colonel Vershinin is from Moscow, it appears.
You are Olga Sergeyevna, the eldest. You are Maria, and you are Irina, the youngest.
You come from Moscow?
Yes, I studied in Moscow. I served there for many years, and at last I've been given a battery here. I moved here, as you can see. I used to visit you in Moscow. I only remember that you were 3 sisters. Now, I don't remember perfectly, but I remember your father. If I shut my eyes, I can see him as though he were still living. And that's when I visited you in Moscow.
I thought I remembered everyone. Now all at once.
My name is Alexander Ignatyevich.
Alexander Ignatyevich from Moscow. What a surprise.
We're going to move there, you know.
We used to live there. It's our native town. We were born there. Old Basmania Street.
See someone from our own town unexpectedly. Now I remember. Do you remember, Olya? They used to talk of the lovesick major. You were a lieutenant at the time, and you were in love, and everyone called you Major to tease you.
Yes, that was it. The lovesick major.
You only had a mustache then. Now you've grown much older. How much older?
Oh, well, when I was called the lovesick major, I was young. I was in love. Now it's very different.
But you haven't a single gray hair. You've grown older, but you're not old.
I'm in my 43rd year, though. Is it long since you left Moscow?
11 years. But Masha, why are you crying, you foolish girl? I shall cry too.
I'm all right. And on what street did you live?
In Old Basmanaya.
That's where we lived too.
At one time, I lived in Nemetsky Street. I used to go from there to the Red Barracks. There's a gloomy-looking bridge along the way where the water makes a noise and it makes a lonely man feel melancholy. But here, what a broad, splendid river, a marvelous river.
Yes, but it's cold. It's cold here and there are mosquitoes.
Oh, how can you? You have such a splendid, healthy Russian climate. Forest, river, and birches, too. Charming, modest birches. I love them more than I love any other tree. It's nice to live here. The only strange thing is that the railway station is 15 miles away, and no one seems to know why it's so.
I know why it is. Because it is so far. Because if it had been near, then it would not have been as far.
He's fond of his jokes, Vasilyevich.
Now I recall you two. I remember.
I knew your mother.
She was a fine woman. The kingdom of heaven be hers.
Mother was buried in Moscow.
You know Divici.
Would you believe it? I'm already beginning to forget her face. So people won't remember us either. They'll forget us.
Yes, they'll forget us. Such is our fate, there is no help for it. What seems to us to be serious, significant, very important will one day be forgotten, or will seem unimportant. And it's curious to say that we cannot exactly tell what will be considered great and important and what will seem petty and ridiculous. Didn't the discoveries of Copernicus or Columbus, let's say, seem useless and ridiculous at first, while the nonsensical writings of some fool seemed true? And it may be that our present life that we accept so readily will one day seem strange, insignificant, stupid, not clean enough, perhaps even sinful.
Who knows? Perhaps our age will be called the Great One, remembered with respect, now that we have no invasions and executions and torture chambers. But at the same time, how much suffering there is.
It's bright of me for the Baron to talk about ideas.
Vasilyevich, I've asked you to let me alone. It gets boring after these.
You said just now, Baron, that our age will be remembered as great. But we are small, all the same. Well, look how small I am.
Well, that's Andre playing, our brother.
He's the scholar of the family. He's going to be a professor someday. Father was a military man, but he went for a more scholarly career.
It was Father's wish.
We've been teasing him today. We think he's a little in love.
There's a young lady living here. She'll be by today, most likely.
Oh, how not in love with her. I won't admit that. He is teasing us, playing the fool. I heard that she was to be married to Protopopo, the chairman of the district council. And a very good thing, too. Andre, dear, come here a minute.
This is my brother, Anton Chekhov.
My name is Vershinin.
And mine is Prozorov. You're our new battery commander?
Can you believe it? Alexander Ivanovich comes from Moscow.
Oh, really? Well, then I congratulate you. My sisters will let you have no peace.
I've had time to bore your sisters already.
Look at this pretty picture frame Andre gave to me. He made it himself.
Yes, it is quite a thing.
And that one on the piano, he made that one as well.
He plays the violin, he's a scholar, and he makes all sorts of things with the French dog. In fact, he's good all around. Andre, don't go! That's the way it is, as I was trying to take off. Stay here.
Leave me alone, please.
Alexander Ivanovich used to be called the love-sick major at one time. He wasn't the least bit offended.
Not in the least.
And I'd like to call you the love-sick violinist.
Or the lovesick professor.
He's in love, Andrusha's in love.
Bravo, bravo, encore. Andrushka is in love.
Nature of hearts for love created.
Come, no. That's enough. That's enough. I haven't slept all night and I don't feel quite myself, as they say. I was up till 4 in the morning reading, and then I went to bed, but it was no use. I thought of one thing and then another, and it's light so early. The sun simply pours into my bedroom. Anyway, I want while I'm here during the summer to translate a book from the English.
Oh, you read English then?
Yes, our Father, the kingdom of heaven be his, burdened us with his education. It's funny and silly, but it must be confessed. I began to grow fat after his death. Yes, I've grown too fat in 1 year. All weight had been taken off my body. Anyway, thanks to our Father, we all know English, French, German, and Irina knows Italian too. But what it cost us.
In this time, to know 3 languages is an unnecessary luxury. Not even a luxury, but more like an unnecessary encumbrance, like a 6th finger. We know a great deal that's unnecessary.
What next? You say you know a great deal that's unnecessary. I can't think of a town so dull and dismal that intelligent and educated people are unnecessary in it. Now, let's suppose that of the 100,000 people in this town, which is of course uncultured and behind the times, there are perhaps 3 of your sort. Now, it goes without saying that you will not be able to conquer the massive darkness around you little by little as you go on living. You'll have to give in to it. You'll get lost in the crowd. Life will get the better of you, but you'll not disappear without a trace. After you, there may appear 6 like you, and then perhaps 12, and so on and so on and so on, until such as you form a majority. In 200 or 300 years, life on Earth will be unimaginably beautiful, marvelous. Man needs such a life, and though he hasn't gotten it yet, he must have a presentiment of it, expect it, dream of it, prepare for it, and for that he must see and know more than his father and his grandfather. And you complain of knowing a great deal that's unnecessary.
I'll stay to lunch.
All of that really ought to be written down.
You say that after many years, life on Earth will be beautiful, marvelous even. That's true. But in order to have any share in it, however far off, we must be preparing for it. We must be working.
Yes. What a lot of flowers you've got here. I envy you. And splendid rooms, too. I've been knocking about all my life from one wretched lodging to the next, always with 2 chairs and a sofa and stoves with smoke. But really, what I've been missing is just such flowers. But no use thinking about it now.
Yes, we must work. No doubt you think the German is getting sentimental. But on my honor, I am Russian. I can't even speak German. My father belongs to the Orthodox Church.
I often wonder, what if one were able to begin life over again, knowing what you're doing? What if this life, so to speak, were only a rough sketch, and the next were the final copy? Then I think each of us, before anything else, would try not to repeat himself. Anyway, he would make a different setting for his life, and have a house like this, with plenty of light and masses of flowers. I have a wife, 2 daughters. My wife is in delicate health, and so on, and so on, and so on. But if I were to begin life over again, I would not marry. No. No.
Dear sister, allow me to congratulate you on your name day with all my heart, and to wish you good health and everything else that one could desire for a girl of your age. And to offer you this little book, the history of our high school for 50 years now, written by myself, an insignificant little book written because I had nothing better to do.
But you gave me this book at Easter.
Impossible. If that's so, please give it back. Or better yet, give it to the Colonel. Please accept it, Colonel. One day when you're bored, you can read it.
Thank you. I'm very, very glad to have made all of your acquaintance.
You're going? No. Stay for lunch with us. Please do. Pray do.
I believe I have intruded on a name day party. Forgive me, I didn't know and haven't congratulated you.
Today, ladies and gentlemen, is Sunday, a day of rest. Let's all rest in age, according to our age and our position. The carpet should be taken up for the summer and put away till the winter. Persian powder and papaline. The Romans knew how to work, and they knew how to rest because they had men sana de corte sano. Their life was molded into a certain framework. Our headmaster says that the most important thing in everyday life is its framework. What loses framework must come to an end. And it's the same in our everyday lives. Masha loves me, my wife loves me, and the window curtains do too ought to be put away with the carpets. Today I feel cheerful, and in the best of spirits, Masha. At 4 o'clock this afternoon, we have to be at the headmaster's house. An excursion has been arranged for the teachers and their families.
I'm not going.
Dear Masha, why not?
We'll talk about it afterwards. Very well. I'll go. Only let me alone, please.
And then we should spend the evening at the headmaster's house, in spite of the delicate state that all men tries to be sociable. He's a noble personality, splendid man. Yesterday he said to me, "Fear a little bit, I'm tired. I'm tired." Your clock is 7 minutes fast. Yes, I'm tired.
Come to lunch, please. There's pie.
Ah, Olga, my dear Olga. Yesterday I was working from early morning till 11 o'clock in the evening. I'm tired out.
Oh, hi, splendid.
And mind you, don't drink today. Do you hear? Don't drink. It's bad for your health.
Oh, my dear, it's been 2 years since I got drunk. But no matter, though. Doesn't matter.
Anyway, don't you dare drink. Don't you dare. Oh, to hell with it. I'm to be bored a whole evening at the headmaster's.
I wouldn't go if I were you. It's very simple.
Yes, my dear, don't go.
Oh, yes. Don't go. It's a damnable life, insufferable.
Compound.
Yep, that's silly, but stop it!
Your health, Colonel. I'm a teacher and one of the family here, Masha's husband. She's very kind. Really, really very kind.
Well, I'll have some of this dark-colored cordial. To your health! I feel so happy with all of you.
Masha's the most fierce today. She was married at 18 when she thought him the cleverest of men. But it's not the same now. He's the kindest of men, but not the cleverest.
What are you thinking about?
Oh, nothing. It's just that Solioni of yours. I don't like him. I'm afraid of him. He always says such stupid things.
He's a strange man. I'm sorry for him and annoyed by him. But more sorry. I think he's shy. When it's just the two of us, he's very intelligent and friendly. But in company, he's rude, a bully. Don't go yet. Let him sit at the table. What are you thinking about? You're 20, I'm not yet 30. How many years have we got before us? A long, long chain of days full of my love for you.
Nikolai Lvovich, don't talk to me about love.
I have a passionate craving for life, for struggle, for work. And that craving is mingled in my soul for my love for you, Irina. And just because you're beautiful, to me it seems life too itself is beautiful. What are you thinking about?
You say life is beautiful, but what if it only seems so? Life for us three sisters hasn't been beautiful yet. We've been stifled by life as plants are choked by weeds. I'm starting to cry. I mustn't. I must work. I must work. The reason we take such a gloomy view of life is because we know nothing of work. We come of people who despise work.
Oh, thank you so much already. Really, I think my hair's alright. Dear Ernest, I congratulate you. You have a lot of visitors. I really feel embarrassed.
Oh, good day, Baron. Well, here's Natalia Ivanovna. How are you
Natasha Ivanovna, I hope we may hear of your engagement soon as well.
Natasha Ivanovna has got a suitor already.
Oh, have another little glass of wine. You only live once. What the hell?
You get a 0 for conduct.
How nice this cordial is. What's it flavored with?
Cockroaches.
Disgusting. We're going to have a roast turkey and apple pie for supper. Thank God I was home all day and will be at home in the evening. Friends, won't you come again this evening?
Allow me to come too.
Please do. Oh, they don't ceremony here.
Oh, nature on hearts for love created.
Stop it. Aren't you tired of it yet?
Party already. At the party. Why, yes, they are at the party already. All right, then. Everyone come on. Take one here. And another. One more. Okay, now we should be ready. My congratulations. I wish you everything. Everything. The weather is beautiful. Perfectly magnificent. I've been outside all day with my gym class. I teach the high school boys gymnastics.
You made a move, Anastasia. You made a move.
And might I say, you look lovely this evening. In fact, I actually have a surprise for you. A little toy that I found, and it makes a wonderful sound.
How lovely! By the sea strand, an oak tree lean, upon that oak a chain of gold. Why has that phrase been haunting me all day?
13 at table.
Are you superstitious?
If there are 13 at the table, someone present is in love. It's not you, Ivan Romanich, by any chance.
Oh, I'm an old sinner. But why Natasha Ivanovna is blushing, I can't imagine.
I feel ashamed. I don't know what's the matter with me, and they make fun of me. I know it's a problem for me to leave the table like this, but I can't.
My dear girl, I implore you, don't be so upset. I assure you, they're merely joking. My dear, my sweet, they are all kind, warm-hearted people, and they're fond of me and of you. Here, come to the window. Here they can't see us.
I'm so accustomed to society.
Oh, youth, lovely, marvelous youth. Don't be so distressed. Believe me, I am happy. My soul is full of love and ecstasy. They can't see us. Why I love you. When I first started loving you, I don't know, but my dear, my sweet, pure one, be my wife. I love you. quite well.
We better be careful about his food anyway, just I'm anxious. And I'm told that the mummers for the carnival party is supposed to be coming here at around 9 tonight. It would be better for them not to come, Andrusha.
I don't know. They've been invited, you know.
You see, the baby woke me up this morning. The baby all at once gave me a smile so he knew me. Good morning, Bullet. Good morning, darling. I said, see, children understand. They understand very well. So I'll tell them not to let the carnival party come in.
I think that's for my sisters to decide. I mean, it is their house.
Yes, and I'm too. I'll speak to them. They're so kind. Yes, I ordered yogurt for supper. The doctor says we must eat nothing but yogurt or else we'll never get thinner. I think it's cold. I'm afraid his room is chilly, perhaps. We have to put him in a different room until the warm weather comes. Irina's room, for instance, is just perfect for a baby. It's dry and the sun shines there all day. I must talk to her about this. She makes her Opa's room for the time being. She's never home anyway except for the night. Undershamsik, why don't you speak?
Nothing. Besides, I've got nothing to say.
What was it I meant to tell you? Yes. Their lunch has come from the district council and is asking for you.
Send him in. Good evening, my good man. Why have you come so late?
The chairman of the board put some booking paper here for you.
Yes, thank you. But why have you come so late? It's past 8 o'clock.
Eh?
I say, why have you come late? It's past 8.
Just so. I tried to get here before dark, but he said that the master was busy. So, you know, if you are busy, I'm in no hurry, and, well...
Nothing. Tomorrow's Friday. We don't have a meeting, but I'll come in all the same and do my work. It's boring now. Dear old man, how strangely life changes and deceives you. Yesterday, I was so bored and had nothing to do that I picked up this book. Old university lectures, and I laughed. Good heavens, I'm a member of the district council, to which Protopopov is the chairman. I'm a member of the council, and the most I can ever hope to be is a member of the board. I dream every night that I'm a professor at the University of Moscow.
Because he's going to board.
Distinguished man, of which all of Russia is proud.
I can't say, sir. I don't hear well.
Really? Well, perhaps if you did hear well, I should have talked to you. I need to talk to somebody. My wife doesn't understand me. My sisters I'm somehow afraid of. I'm afraid that they will laugh at me and make me feel ashamed. Dear old man, I don't drink. I'm not very fond of restaurants, but how I'd love to sit in Tiestos or Bolshoi Moskovsky right about now.
The contractor at the board was talking about how 2 merchants in Moscow went out eating pancakes. One who ate 40, it seems, died. It was either 40 or 50, I don't remember.
When you're in Moscow, you sit in this large room. You don't know anyone, and nobody knows you, and you don't feel a stranger. Yet, here, you know everyone. Everyone knows you. You are a stranger. A stranger. A stranger and lonely.
And the same contractor says maybe it's not true that there's a rope tied right across Moscow.
Really, what for?
I'm not sure, sir. The contractor says so.
Nonsense. Have you ever been to Moscow?
No, sir. It hasn't been God's will that I should. Mind if I go?
Yes, you may go. Take care. Go. Don't forget those papers on the way out tomorrow. Go. He's gone. Oh, that must be work.
I don't know.
Oh, well, they'll soon be bringing it. I was married when I was 18, and I was afraid of my husband because he was a teacher, and I had only just left school. In those days, I had thought him the most important, clever, and scholarly person, and now it's not the same, unfortunately.
Yes, I see.
I'm not speaking of my husband. I'm used to him. But generally, among civilians, there are so many rude, ill-mannered, badly behaved people. Rudeness upsets and distresses me. I'm unhappy when I see that a man is not gentle, not refined, not behaved. When I have to be around my husband's colleagues, the teachers, it makes me quite miserable.
Yes, well, it makes no difference to my mind whether they're civilian or military men. They're equally uninteresting. In this town, anyway. It's all the same. If you were to listen to a man of the educated class here, he's worried to death by his wife, worried to death by his house, worried to death by his estate, worried to death by his horses. A Russian is peculiarly given to exalted ideas, but why does he always fall so short in life? Why?
Why?
Why is his children and wife worried to death by him? And why is he worried to death by his wife and children?
You are rather depressed this evening.
Perhaps. I've had no dinner today. I've had nothing to eat since this morning. And my daughter is not quite well. When my little girls are ill, it consumes my anxiety. My conscience begins to reproach me for having given them such a mother. Oh, you should have seen her today. She's such a fool. We started arguing at 7 in the morning, and at 9 I slammed the door and I went out. I never talk about it. It's strange. It's only to you I complain. Don't get angry with me. Without you, I have no one. No one.
What a noise in the stove! Strange. Before Father died, there was a noise in the chimney. Just like that.
Are you superstitious?
Yes.
That's strange. You're a splendid, wonderful woman. Splendid, wonderful. It's dark, but I see the light in your eyes.
It's lighter over here.
Oh, I love you. I love you. Love you. You splendid, wonderful woman. I love your eyes, your movements. I see them in my dreams. Splendid, wonderful woman.
When you talk like that, I laugh. Oh, I'm very frightened. Please don't say it again. You may say it, though. I don't mind. Oh, someone is coming to talk about something else.
I've got a free barrel name. My name is Baron Tumbach Kron Altschau, and I belong to the Orthodox Church. I'm just as Russian as you. There is very little left of the German in me. Nothing perhaps but the patience and obedience of which I bore you. I walk you home every evening.
How tired I am.
And every day I'll come to the telegraph office and walk you home. I'll do it for 10 years, for 20 years, till you drive me away. Oh, it's you. How are you?
Well, I'm home at last. A lady came in to telegraph to her brother in Saratov that her son had died. Only she didn't know the address, so she wrote it to simply Saratov. She was crying, and I was rude to her for no reason. Told her I had no time to waste. It was so stupid. Are the carnival people coming tonight?
Yeah.
I'm tired. I must rest.
When you come home from the office, you seem so young, so forlorn.
I'm tired. I don't like telegraph work. I don't like it.
You look thinner and younger. Rather like a boy in the face.
That's the way she does her hair.
I don't like this work. It does not suit me. What I so longed for, what I dreamed of, is the very thing it's lacking in. It's work without poetry, without meaning. Oh, it's the doctor knocking. Knock back, dear. I can't. I'm too tired. He shall come directly. We ought to do something about it. Our Andre and the doctor went to the club. I heard they lost again. Andre lost 200 rubles.
Well, it can't be helped now.
He lost money 2 weeks ago. He lost money in December. I wish he'd go ahead and lose it all so we can get out of this town. Every night I dream of Moscow and its perfect madness. We're going to be there in June, but there's still February, March, April, May, like half the year.
The only thing is, Natasha must not hear of his losses.
I suppose she doesn't care.
Alexander Ignatievich, why are you so quiet?
Oh, I don't know. I'm longing for tea. I've had nothing to eat since this morning. I'd give half my life for a glass of tea.
Irina Sergeyevna,
What is it?
come, let us eat you. I can't do without you.
Well, if they won't bring tea, let us discuss something.
By all means. What?
I don't know. Perhaps let us dream of the life that is to come in 200 or 300 years.
Well, when we are dead, men will fly in balloons, change the fashion of their clothes, will discover the sixth sense, perhaps, and develop it. The life will remain just the same, difficult, full of mystery and happiness. In 1,000 years, men will sigh just the same. How hard life is. And yet, at the same time, we will be afraid of death and not want it.
Well, I don't know. It seems to me that everything is bound to change by degrees. It is changing before our very eyes. And in another 200 or 300, perhaps 1,000 years, the time does not matter. A new happy life will come. We shall have no share in that life, of course, but we're living for it. We're working it. Yes, we're suffering. We're creating it. And that alone is the purpose of our existence and our happiness, if you like.
What is it?
I don't know. I've been laughing all day.
I went to the same school that you did. I didn't go to the military academy. I read a great deal, but perhaps I don't know how to choose my books, and I read all the wrong things. But the longer I live, the more I want to know. My hair is turning gray, and I'm almost an old man, but I know so little. So little. But I think I do know and thoroughly grasp what is essential and matters most, and that is why I should like to make you see that there is no happiness for us. There ought not be, and there will not be. We must work and work and work, and happiness is the portion of our remote descendants. If it's not for me, at least it's for the descendants of my descendants.
You think it's no use of dreaming of happiness? What if I'm happy?
No, you're not.
It's clear we don't understand each other. Well, how am I to convince you? Laugh. Not only in 200 or 300 years, but in 1,000,000 years, life will be just the same. It doesn't change. It remains stationary, following its own laws which we have nothing to do with, nor which we will understand. Migratory birds, cranes, for instance, fly backwards and forwards. And whatever idea a greater mind strays through their mind, they'll fly and continue to fly without knowing where or why. They'll fly, and however philosophical they may become, it doesn't matter how philosophical they become, so long as they go on flying.
But still, isn't there a meaning?
Meaning? Here it is snowing. What meaning is there in that?
Well, I think men ought to seek faith, or ought to have a faith, or else his life is empty. Empty! To live and not know why birds fly, why children are born, why there are stars in the sky. You've got to know what you're living for, or else your life is nonsense, a waste.
And yet you're sorry when your youth is over.
Gogol says, it's dull living in this world, friends.
And I say it's hard to argue with either of you, friends. Oh well, I give up.
Balzac was married at Berdichev. I really ought to write that one down. Balzac was married at Berdichev.
Balzac was married at Berdichev.
The die is cast. You know, Maria, I resigned my commission.
So I hear, and I think nothing of it. I don't like civilians.
Never mind. I'm too young to be a soldier, but that doesn't matter. I'm going to work. For one day in my life, I'm going to work so I come home at night tired and fall asleep as soon as I get into bed. Working men must sleep soundly.
Oh. I bought these plants for you as I was passing Kiskov on Moscow Street. And I also got you a penknife.
You're so used to looking at me as though I were still little. I've grown up. Oh, how lovely.
I also got a knife for myself. Look. See, look. Has one blade, another blade, and there's also this one too. But this one is really great for, putting your nails and your teeth. Doctor, how old are you?
Oh, me?
32. I'll show you another kind of patience.
What a wind there is.
Yes, I'm sick of winter. I've already forgotten what summer is like. Well, the cards are playing out right. I see we shall go to Moscow.
They're not playing out okay. See,
think if I lived in Moscow, I wouldn't mind what the weather was like.
I was reading the diary of a French minister written in prison the other day. The minister was condemned for the Panama affair. And with what enthusiasm and delight he describes the birds that he sees from his prison window, which of course he never noticed when he was a minister. And now that he's free, he notices birds no more than he did before. It's the same way when you live in Moscow, you won't notice it. We have no happiness and never do have. We only long for it.
What has become of the sweets?
Soleoni has eaten them.
Oh.
Here's the message, please.
For me? For my daughter. Thank you. Maria Sergeyevna, I must leave. I'll slip out this way so not to be noticed, then I won't have tea. All of these upsets.
What is it? Not a secret.
My wife has taken poison again. I need to go this way unnoticed. Dreadful business in all this. Dear, splendid, wonderful woman. I'll be off.
Where's he off to? I'll touch him with his tea. What the hell? Leave me alone and give me no peace, you old woman. Why are you so hungry? Starving.
And Visa.
And Chispa, you sit scared. Let me sit down. You take up the whole table with your cards.
You're so mean, Masha.
If I'm weak, don't talk to me. Don't interfere with me.
Ooh, don't interfere, don't interfere.
You're 60 years old and you talk rot like a schoolboy, just to raise hell.
Oh, dear Masha, why make use of such expressions in conversation? With your attractive appearance, I tell you straight out, you would be simply fascinating in a well-bred social circle. If it were not for the things you say,
Give me. I think there's some brandy here.
He's awake, or father hasn't been feeling well lately. I must go to him. Excuse me.
Where is Alexander Ignatyevich gone? Oh, something going on with his wife again.
You're always sitting alone thinking, and there's no making out what you're thinking about. Come, let's make peace. Let's have a drink of brandy together. I'll have to play the piano all night, I suppose. Play all sorts of trash. Here goes.
Why would you want to make peace? I have no quarrel with you.
You're always attacking me like something's gone wrong between us. You're a strange character, there's no denying that.
I am strange. Who's not strange? You're not Brad or let go.
I don't see what the Lego has got to do with this.
When I'm face to face with someone, I'm alright. But in company, I'm all ill at ease. And say all sorts of idiotic things.
You're always attacking me, making me feel something has happened between us. I often feel angry with you, and yet I somehow like you. What the hell? I'm going to drink a lot tonight. Let's drink.
Let's. I have nothing against you, Baron. But I have the temperament of Lermontov. Some even say I look like Lermontov, or so they say.
I've sent in my resignation. I've had enough of it. I've been thinking about it for 5 years, and at last I've come to a decision. I'm going to work.
Be not wrathful, Lego. Forget thy dream.
I'm going to work. When are the carnival party coming?
They're coming at 9, so they should be here directly.
On my porch, on my new porch, post maple wood.
That's the last word complete.
Hang it all. Let's have a drink, Andrusha. Let's drink to our everlasting friendship. I'll go to the University of Moscow when you do, Andrusha.
There are 2 universities in Moscow.
There's only one university in Moscow.
And I say there are 2.
Maybe 3 for all I care. So much the better.
There are 2. There are 2 universities in Moscow. The old one and the new one. And if you don't like what I have to say, what I say irritates you, I can be quiet. I can even do it in another room!
Bravo, bravo. Ladies and gentlemen, let's begin. I'll sit down and play the piano. Funny fellow, that's so yummy.
The Baron is drunk. The Baron is drunk. The Baron is drunk. Ivan Romanich?
What is it?
It's time you should be leaving. Have a good night, everyone.
Good night. It's time to be going.
Excuse me, what about the carnival party?
Oh, they're not coming. You see, dear, Bowick isn't well, and to be honest, I know nothing about it, nor do I care.
Bowick isn't well.
Well, it's not the first time we've had to lump it. It's not Bowick that isn't well, it's her. She's a petty, vulgar creature.
How unfortunate. I was really looking forward to everything. But if the child is ill, I'll make a fun one.
I know. I took a nap after dinner, expecting to be dancing all night. Why, it's only 9 o'clock.
Let's go outside. There, we can talk.
See, my boy, I was never married. Mostly because life seemed to flash by me like lightning, but also because I was so passionately in love with your mother. She was married.
A person shouldn't get married. They shouldn't because it's boring.
Yes, well, that's one thing, but what about loneliness? It's a dreadful thing to be lonely, my boy. I know.
Come on, let's go.
What's the hurry? We have plenty of time.
I'm afraid my wife has stopped.
Oh.
I'm not going to gamble tonight. I'm not feeling very well. I'm just going to look on. Tell me, Ivan Romanich, what can you do for the shortness of breath?
Oh, my dear boy, don't ask me that. I don't know. I don't quite remember.
Come on, let's go to the kitchen.
What is it?
Good rumor. You're all dressed up.
Nanny, dear, there's nobody home. Tell them they must excuse us.
Where is everyone?
They've gone home.
Ah. So are you alone?
Yes. Good night.
I behaved tactlessly just now, without restraint. But you're not like the others. You're pure, noble. You see the truth. You alone can understand me. I love you. I love you deeply, infinitely.
Good night. You must go.
I can't. I'm speaking of love to you. You marvelous, exquisite being.
Don't, Vasily Vasilich.
I feel as though I'm not on this earth. Of course, there's no forcing kindness. But there can be no successful rivals. There cannot. I swear on sacred ground I will kill any rival, oh exquisite being.
I agree. Oh, excuse me, Vasily Vasilyevich. I didn't even see you there, and I'm in my dressing gown.
I don't care. Goodbye.
We don't go to bed earlier.
Is Bowick asleep?
He's asleep, but not sleeping quietly. By the way, dear, I keep meaning to ask you, but either you're out or else I have
expecting the carnival people.
Has Masha gone too? Where is she gone? And why is Lord Popoff laying below in a sleigh? Whom was he waiting for?
Don't ask so many questions, I'm tired.
Oh, isn't she a bad little girl?
The meeting is only just over and I'm tired out. Our headmistress is ill and I have to take her place. Oh, my head aches. My head aches. Andre lost 200 rubles at cards and the whole town was talking about it. Oh, my head.
Yes, I'm tired out by the meeting too.
My wife took it into her head to give me a fright. She tried to poison herself again. It's all right now, I'm glad. I'm relieved. But we're to say goodnight? Very well then. Peter Ilyich, let's go somewhere. I can't possibly stay at home tonight. Come along.
I'm tired. I'm not going. I'm tired. Has Masha gone home?
I expect so.
Well, very well then. Then I have tomorrow and the next evening to rest. Good night. I do want some tea, though. I was planning on spending the evening in pleasant company. Ophelia hominum spem, accusative exclamation.
Very well, I must go off alone then.
Andre lost 200 rubles at cards. The whole town was talking about it. I'll go lie down. Tomorrow I'm free. God, how nice that is. Tomorrow I'm free, and the day after I'm free. Oh, my head aches, my head.
They've all gone. I'm alone.
I'll be back in half an hour. I'll only go a little way. Oh, to go to Moscow. To Moscow.
They are seated below under the stairs. I said to them, "Come upstairs. Why must you stay there?" They only cried, "We don't know where father is. What if he is burnt?" Want an idea? And the poor souls out in the yard, they are all underdressed too.
Here, take this gray dress, and this one, and this blouse, and that skirt, Nanny. Oh dear, what a dreadful thing. Kirsanov Street is burnt to the ground, it seems. Take this, and take this. The Roshinins have had a fright, poor things. Their house was very nearly burnt. We can't let them go home. Let them stay the night here. Poor Fedotek has had everything burnt. He doesn't have a thing left.
You'd better call Philpot or Yushka, darling. I can't carry it all.
No one will answer the bell. Come here, whoever is there. How awful it is, and I'm sick of it. Here, carry these downstairs. The cotillion young ladies are down there. Give it to them. And give this as well.
Yes, miss. In 1812, Moscow was burnt too. Oh, the French were surprised.
You can go now.
Yes, miss.
Nanny dear, give them everything. We don't want anything. Give it all to them. I'm tired. I can hardly stand on my feet. We mustn't let the Vershinins go home. The little girls can sleep in the drawing room, and Alexander Ignatovich down below at the Baron's. Fedotek can go to the Baron's as well, or sleep in the dining room. As ill luck will have it, the doctor is drunk, frightfully drunk, so no one can be put up in his room. And Vershinin's wife can sleep in the drawing room too.
Onyushka, darling, don't send me away, don't send me away.
Nonsense, Nanny. No one is sending you away.
My own, my treasure. I work. I do my best. I'm getting weak. Everyone will say, send her away, and where am I to go? I'm 81.
Sit down, Nanny. How tired you are. Rest, dear good Nanny. How pale you are.
They're saying we must form a committee for the assistance of those whose houses have been burnt. Well, I think it's a good idea. Indeed, we always ought to be ready to help the poor. It's the duty of the rich. Bobik and babies tell you about the sleep. Sleeping as if though nothing were happening. Such a lot of people everywhere. Wherever you go, the house is full. Such an influence in the town, I'm afraid the children might get it.
In this room, it's quiet. You can't see the fire here.
Yes, my hair must be untidy. They may have gotten fatter, but it's not true. Not true at all. Mash is asleep. So tired out. Poor You! Get out of the room! Don't dare sit down in my presence! Why you keep that old woman? I can't understand.
Excuse me, I don't understand either.
Where's she use here? She's a peasant. She ought to be in the country. You spoil people. I like order here. There ought to be no use of service in the house. That's tired, poor dear. Our headmistress is tired. When baby Sophie's a big girl and goes to the high school, I shall be afraid of you.
I won't be headmistress.
You'll be elected, Ochka. And that's a settled thing.
I'll refuse. I can't. It's too much for me. You were so rude to Nanny just now. Excuse me, I can't endure it. It makes me feel faint.
Oh, forgive me, Olia, forgive me. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
No! You must understand, my dear. It may be that we have been strangely brought up, but such an attitude oppresses me. It makes me feel ill. I feel simply unnerved by it.
Oh, forgive me, forgive me.
The very slightest rudeness, a tactless word, upsets me.
I often say too much, that's true, but you must admit, dear, that she might as well just be in the country.
She's been with us for 30 years.
But now she can't work. Either I don't understand, or you won't understand me. She's clearly not fit for work. She does nothing but sleep or sit still.
Well, let her sit still.
How sit still? Why, she's a servant. I don't understand you, Olia. We already have a nanny for the children, as well as a wet nurse for the baby, and a housemaid, and a cook. What do you want that woman for? What's the use of her?
This night has made me 10 years older.
Oh, you must come to an understanding, Olia. You're at the high school. I'm at home. You're out teaching while I look after the house. And if I say anything about the servants, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I am talking about. And that old thief, that old hag, that old witch shall clear out of the house tomorrow. I won't have people annoy me. I won't have it. Really. If you don't move downstairs soon, we'll always be quarreling. That's awful.
Where is Masha? It's time to be going home. The fire's dying down, so they say. Only one part of the town has been burnt, and yet there was a wind. It seemed as though the whole town would have been destroyed. I'm exhausted. Aleka, my dear, I often think if it hadn't been for Masha, I should have married you. I'm tired out.
What is it?
It's unfortunate the doctor had been drinking about just now. He is helplessly drunk. Most unfortunate. Do you hear? Oh, yes. He's coming this way. I'll hide. Isn't he a ruffian?
He hasn't drunk for 2 years, and now he's gone and done it.
Devil take them all. Damn them all. They think I'm a doctor, that I can treat all sorts of complaints, but I don't know anything at all. I know absolutely nothing. I treated a woman last week at Zazip, and she died. And it's my fault that she died. Yes, I did know something 25 years ago, maybe, but now I know nothing. I'm useless. I'm worthless. Last week I was at the club, and they were talking about Shakespeare, Voltaire. I've never read any of them. I've read nothing at all. And I pretended as though I did, and I looked around, and others were doing the same, and it just seemed so nasty, the vulgarity, the meanness. And I thought about that woman last Wednesday, the one that I had killed, and everything came back to my mind, and everything seemed so twisted and dark, and I went and I got drunk.
We can sit here. No one will come here.
If that had been for the soldiers, the whole town would have been burned down. Splendid fellows. First-rate men. Splendid fellows.
What time is it?
It's past 3. It's getting light already.
They're all sitting in the dining room, and no one looks like they're ready to leave. And that Solioni of yours is there as well. Doctor, you better go to bed.
It's all right. I'm fine. Thank you.
You've been hitting the bottle, Ivan Romanovich? Bravo! In vino veritas, the ancients used to say.
Everyone is asking me to get up a concert for the benefit of the families whose houses have been burnt down.
Why? Who are they?
We can do it if we wanted to. Maria plays the piano splendidly, to my thinking.
Yes, she plays splendidly.
Oh, she's forgot. She hasn't played in 3 or 4 years.
There is absolutely no one who understands music in this town, not one soul. But I do understand, and on my honor, I assure you that Maria plays the piano magnificently, almost with genius.
You are right, Baron. I'm very fond of her. Masha, she is a good sort.
To be able to play so gloriously and have no one understand you.
Yes, but it'd be suitable for her to take part in a concert. I know nothing about my friends. Perhaps it'd be all right. Our director is indeed a very fine man, very intelligent, but he has such views. It's none of my business, but if you'd like, I'll speak to him about it.
dirty all over in the fire. Sight. I heard a word drop the other day about our brigade being transferred ever so far away. Some say to Poland, others to Chita.
I've heard something about that too. Well, the town will be a wilderness then.
Then we'll go too.
Oh, the smithereens! To smash such a valuable thing, Ivan Ronovich, I give you -0 for conduct.
That was Mother's clock.
Well, if it was hers, it was. But none of that matters. We don't exist. We only sit there and we pretend that we exist. All of us, we know nothing. We see nothing. What are you staring at? Did you know Natasha is having a little affair with Protopopov? You sit here and you see nothing while Natasha has a little affair going on with Protopopov. May I offer you this fig?
Yes, how strange it all is, really. When the fire began, I ran home as fast as I could and saw that our house was safe and sound and out of danger. But my little girls were standing in the doorway in their nightgowns. Their mother was nowhere to be seen. And there were people bustling about and horses and dogs running around, and my children's faces were full of alarm, horror, pleas for help, and I don't know what. It wrung my heart to see their faces. And I thought, my God, what more will these children have to go through in the long years to come? And I took their hands, and I ran along with them, and I could think of nothing else but what more will they have to go through in this world? And when I arrived at your house, I found their mother here, screaming, angry. And while my little girls were standing in that doorway in their nightgowns, the street was red with fire, and there was a fearful noise. I thought that something like this used to happen years ago when the enemy would make a raid and suddenly begin plundering and burning. When in reality, what a difference there is between what is now and what has been in the past. And when a little more time has passed, another 200 or 300 years, people will look at our present manner of life with horror and derision, and everything from today will seem awkward and heavy, and strange and uncomfortable. What a wonderful life it will be, a wonderful life! Forgive me, here I am again, airing my theories. Allow me to go on. I have such a desire to talk about the future. I'm in the mood. It's as though everyone were asleep. And so I say to you, what a wonderful life it will be. Can you only imagine? Here there are only 3 of your sort in this town, and now and in generations to come, there will be more and more and more, and everything will change. Life will be as you would have it. People will live in your way. And soon you too will be out of date. People will be born who will be better than you. I'm in such a strange mood today. I have a fiendish longing for life. Young and old are bound by love, and precious are its pangs.
Tam tam tam.
Tam tam.
Tra la la.
Tra ta ta.
That's not something to joke about. Is everything burnt?
Everything I had in the world. My guitar's gone, my photographs are all burnt up, and the notebook I was supposed to give to you, yeah, you're not getting it, that's burnt too.
No, please go, Vasily Vagilich. You can't stay here.
Why can the Baron be here, not I?
We must be going, really. How's the fire?
Oh, it's dying down. No, really, I can't understand why the Baron can be here, not I.
Tram tam tam.
Tram tam.
Fine, I'll go. But I have to explain my meaning further. I'm afraid I'll have to provoke the geese.
Let's go to the dining room.
Oh, how that Sulioni has made the room smell of tobacco. The Baron is asleep. Baron! Baron!
I'm tired, though. The brick factory. I'm not talking in my sleep. I really am going to the brick factory to begin work. It's nearly settled. You're so pale and lovely and fascinating. It seems to me your paleness shines a light through the dark air. You're melancholy. You're disfigured with life. Oh, come with me. Let's go and work together.
Nikolai Pavlovich, go away.
Are you there? I didn't see you. Goodbye, I'm going. I look at you now and I remember it were not long ago how on your name day you talked about the joy of work and you were so cheerful and confident then. What a happy life I was dreaming of then. What has become of it? There's tears in your eye. Go to bed. It's getting light. It's nearly morning. If only I can give my love to you.
Nikolai Lvovich, do go, really. This is too much.
I'm going.
Are you asleep, Fyodor?
Eh,
You better go home.
my darling Masha, my precious girl.
Let her rest, Fedya. She's tired out.
I'll go at once. My dear charming wife, I love you, my only one.
Amo, amat, amatis, amanus, amant.
Yes, you're a really wonderful woman. We've been married for 7 years now, and it seems we were only married yesterday. Honor bright. You are a really wonderful woman. I'm content, I'm content, I'm content.
I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. And there's something that I can't get out of my head. It's simply revolting. It sticks in my head like a nail. I must speak of it. I mean about Andre. He has mortgaged this house to the bank, and his wife has grabbed all of the money. And you know that this house doesn't belong to him alone, but to us four. He ought to know that if he was a decent man.
Why worry about it? What's gotten into you? Andrusha's in debt all around, so there it is.
It's the injustice that makes me say so.
We're not poor. I work. I go to high school, and then I give my private lessons. I do my duty. Omnia mea misitum portum, as the saying goes.
Well, it just simply revolts me. Go, Fyodor.
You're tired. Rest for half an hour, and I'll sit and I'll wait for you. I'm content. I'm content. I'm content.
Yes, how petty our Andre has become. How dull and old he has grown besides that woman. He used to talk about getting a professorship, and now he boasts about finally having succeeded in becoming a member of the council. He's a member of the council, all right, and Protopopov is chairman. The whole town is laughing and talking about it, and he's the only one who sees and knows nothing. Look, we all run to the fire, and he sits up in his room and takes no notice. And all he does is play that stupid violin. Oh, it's awful. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. I can't take it anymore. I can't take it. Oh my God. Oh my God, I've forgotten everything. Everything. Everything is a tangle in my mind. I can't remember the Italian word for window, for ceiling. I've forgotten everything. Every day I forget more, and life is slipping away, and it will never come back. And I see now that we won't go to Moscow. We won't go.
Darling, darling.
I'm in despair. I can't work. I won't go to work. I've had enough of it. Enough of it. I've been a telegraph worker. I've been a member of the district council, and I hate and despise every bit of work that they give me. My drains are drying up. I'm already 23 years old. I've been working for years. I'm getting old. I'm getting thin. I'm getting ugly, and nothing, not the slightest satisfaction. And you feel like you're missing out on a beautiful life, and you're falling farther and farther into the depths. I'm in despair. I don't know how it is I'm still alive and I haven't killed myself yet.
Don't cry, my child. It makes me miserable.
I'm not crying. I'm not crying. It's over. I'm not crying.
Darling, I'm speaking to you as a sister, as a friend. If you care for my advice, marry the Baron. You know you respect him. You think highly of him. It's true, he isn't good looking, but he's such a thoroughly nice man. So good. But a person doesn't marry for love, but to do her duty. That's what I think anyway. Whoever proposed to me, I'd marry him. If only he were a good man. I'd even marry an old man.
But I expected that we would move to Moscow, and there I would find my true love. I've been dreaming of him, loving him. But I see now that was all nonsense. Nonsense.
Darling, lovely sister, I understand it all. When the Baron came to us from the army in a plain coat, I thought he looked so ugly that it positively made me cry. He said, "Why are you crying?" How could I tell him? But if God brought you together, I would be happy. That's a different thing, you know. Quite different.
Well, she walks about it, though. It was she who set fire to the whole town.
Masha, you're silly. The very silliest of the family. That's you. Please forgive me.
I want to confess my sins, dear sisters. My soul is yearning. I'm going to confess to you and never again to anyone else. I'll tell you this minute. I love him. I love him. I love that man. You've just seen him. Well, I may as well say it straight out. I love Vershinin.
Stop it. I'm not listening anyway.
But what am I to do? At first I thought him strange. Then I felt sorry for him. And then I grew to love him for his voice, his words, his misfortunes, his two little girls.
Stop it. I'm not listening anyway. Whatever silly things you say, I won't hear them.
Oh, Olga, you are silly. I love him, so that's my fate. It means that that's my lot. And he loves me. Oh, it's all so terrifying, yes? Oh, my darling, what are we to do? What will become of us? When you read about it in a novel, it all seems so trite, so obvious. But when you are in love yourself, you see that nothing else matters, and we all have to settle things for ourselves. My darlings, my sisters, I've confessed to you. Now I will hold my tongue. I'll be like Gogol's madman. Silence. Silence.
You saying I can't make it out?
I told you 10 times, Andrei Sergeyevich.
I'm not Andrei Sergeyevich, but your honor to you.
Firemen ask permission, your honor, to go through the garden on the way to the river. Also to go round and an awful nuisance for
All right. Tell them all right. Oh, God, I'm so sick of them. Where's Olga? Oh. I'm missing my key to the cupboard. It's a little key. I believe you have one. Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, God, what a tremendous fire. I think it's begun to die down. Damn it all. Farapont made me so cross I said something stupid to him. Your honor. Why don't you speak, Ulya? It's time to drop this foolishness at once. You're here, Masha, and you too, Irina. Very well. Let's have at it through, once and for all. What have you got against me? What is it?
Stop it, Andrusha. Let's talk tomorrow. What an agonizing night.
Don't excite yourself. I'm asking you quite calmly. What do you have against me? Tell me straight out.
La, la, la. Good night, Olga. God bless you. Sleep well, my darling. Good night, Andrei. You better leave them alone. They're tired out. You can go into things tomorrow.
Yes, really, Andrusha. Let's put it off till tomorrow. It's time we were in bed.
I'll say what I have to say and then I'll go. Directly. First, you have something against Natasha, my wife, and we've noticed that from the very first day of our marriage. Natasha is an excellent, splendid woman, conscientious, upright, honorable. I love and respect my wife. Do you understand me? I love and respect her, and I insist on other people respecting her too. I repeat, she is a conscientious, honorable woman. That's my opinion, and anything you have to say against that is simply caprice. Secondly, you all seem to be cross with me for not being a professor, for not being something scholarly, and I am at the service of the Zemstvo. I am a member of the district council, and I consider this service just as sacred and elevated as the service of learning. I'm a member of the district council, and I'm proud of it, if you care to know. And thirdly, yes, there is something else that must be confessed. I mortgaged the house. For that, I am to blame, yes. I was driven to it by my debt. $35,000. I'm not gambling anymore. I gave up cards long ago. But the chief thing I can say in defense is that you girls get a pension when I don't get my wages, so to speak.
Where is Masha? Isn't Masha here? How strange.
They aren't listening.
Natasha is an excellent, straightforward woman. When I married her, I expected us to be happy. Happy, all of us. But my God, dear sisters, dear darling sisters, you mustn't believe what I have to say. You mustn't believe it.
Isn't Masha here? Strange.
Olya, who is that knocking on the floor?
It's the doctor, Ivan Romanich. He's drunk.
Oh, what a troubled night. Olya, did you hear? The brigade is being taken away. They're being transferred to some place far off.
That's only a rumor.
We'll be alone then. Olya?
Well?
My dear, my darling, I respect the Baron. I think highly of him. He's a kind man. I'll marry him. I consent. Only, let's go to Moscow. I implore you, please, let's go. There's nothing better in the world than Moscow. Let's go, Olya. Let's go.
You're a good fellow. We've gone on so happily together. Write to us. Be sure to write to us.
Till we meet again.
No, it's goodbye for good. We're never gonna see each other again.
We'll meet again someday.
Yeah, maybe 10 or 15 years perhaps, but we'll hardly recognize each other. Treat each other coldly. I don't know. Might as well just cherish the moment. Come on, get in. One more for the bucks.
Please God, we shall meet again. You both were good friends.
Thank you for everything. Everything. We've had such a splendid time here.
Oh man, move. Hold back. Can't you just hold still for 1 minute? Goodbye, trees. Goodbye, Echo.
I shouldn't wonder if you get married in Poland, your Polish wife will clasp you in your arms and call you Kachny.
We have less than an hour. Of our battery, only Solioni is on barge. We're going with the rank and file. We have 3 divisions to dispatch today and 3 more tomorrow. And then, peace and quiet, no one is praying.
And dreadful boredom, too.
And where's Maria Sergeyevna?
Masha's in the garden.
Damn it, we have to say goodbye to her.
Goodbye, we must be going. Thank you for everything again. We must be going. Come on.
Souvenir for you, my good man. A notebook. We're going to go the way with the river.
Goodbye.
They've gone.
They forgot to say goodbye to me.
Well, what about you?
Well, perhaps I forgot to. I shall be going tomorrow. See, I get my pension in a year's time, and then I'll be able to come back here, and I'll live my life near you for the rest of my days. And I'll arrange my life quite differently, and I'll become such a honorable, quiet person.
Well, you do have to arrange your life differently, Ivan Romanich. You ought to somehow.
I feel the same.
Ivan Ronovich is incorrigible.
Well, then you ought to take me in hand, then I might reform.
Oh, Fyodor has shaved off his mustache. I can't bear to look at him.
Why? What's wrong?
Well, I ought to tell you what you look like, but I better not.
Well, it's the thing now. Modus vivendi. Our headmaster isn't taken into shaving. I'm second to him in clean shaving, too. Nobody likes it, but I don't care. With or without a mustache, I'm equally content.
Ivan Romanich, darling, I'm feeling dreadfully uneasy. You were at the boulevard yesterday, right? What was it that happened?
Nothing. I don't know. Nothing happened.
The story is that Solioni and the Baron met yesterday near the boulevard.
What?
Oh, stop it, really.
Near the boulevard, Solioni began pestering the Baron and said something offensive.
I don't know. It's
It's nonsense. A teacher at the divinity school wrote nonsense at the bottom of the essay, and the people puzzled over it, thinking it was a Latin word. It was terribly funny. Solione is apparently in love with Urina and hates the Baron. That's natural. Urina's a very nice girl.
Oh, how everything frightens me somehow today. Well, all my things are ready. After dinner, I'll send off my luggage. The Baron and I are to be married tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll go to the brick factory, and the day after that I'll be in a new school. A new life is beginning. It's in God's hands now. Oh, but how will it fare with me? When I took a teaching exam, I felt blissful. I felt happy. I even cried. Oh, the cart is coming soon for my things.
Well, this doesn't seem too serious. All but ideas, but nothing too serious. But I wish you success with all my heart.
Oh, my dearest darling, my heart of gold.
Well, today the officers will be gone, and everything will go back to the old way. Masha is a true good woman, and I love her dearly. People have lots in life. There's a man called Kozarev who served in the excise here. I went to school with him, but he was expelled in the fifth form because he never could understand a consecutivum. And now every time I see him, he's frightfully poor and ill and just says consecutivum. Now, I've always been successful, and I'm fortunate for that. I got the Order of the Stanislav in the 2nd degree. I'm cleverer than many people, but happiness doesn't lie in that.
Oh, I will not be hearing that dreadful maiden's prayer tomorrow, and I won't be meeting that Protopopov. Protopopov is there in the drawing room. He's come again today?
The headmistress hasn't come yet?
No, but they've sent for her. Oh, I wish I could explain to you how hard it is to live in this house without Oya. Now that she's a headmistress and she lives at the high school and she's busy all day long, I'm alone, I'm bored, and I've got nothing to do, and I hate the room that I live in. Well, I've made up my mind. If I'm not fated to be in Moscow, then that's how it should be. It's in God's hands now, and that's the truth. When Nikolai Lvovich made me an offer again, well, I thought about it, and he's a good man. It's really wonderful how good he is, and I made up my mind. I suddenly felt that my soul had wings, and my heart was light, and I wanted to work again. I wanted to work. Only something happened yesterday at the boulevard.
Nonsense.
Our headmistress has come. Let's go in.
All snug and settled.
Well, why not?
Nothing. Did you love my mother?
Oh, very much so.
And did she love you?
Well, that I don't remember.
Is my man here? It's just like our cook Marfa used to say about her policeman. Is my man here?
Not yet.
When you get happiness by snatches, by little bits, as I have, by degrees, one grows coarse and spiteful. Oh, I'm boiling here inside. Here's our Andre. All hopes are shattered. It's like thousands of people raised a huge bell, a lot of money and time were spent on it, and then it shattered. All at once. That's just how it is with our Andre.
When will they be quiet in there? There's such a noise.
Oh, it'll be soon. My watch is an old-fashioned one with repeaters in it. The 1st, 2nd, and 5th hours are going. And I shall be going soon, tomorrow.
For good?
Well, that I don't know. I'll come back in a year, perhaps, though goodness knows. It doesn't matter one way or another.
The town will be empty. It's as if you put a giant extinguisher over it. Something happened in the town the other day, and I know nothing about it.
It was nothing, foolishness, nonsense. Solyoni began pestering the Baron yesterday and said something offensive, and it ended with Solyoni having to challenge him to a duel. He thinks of himself as like a Lermontov. He even writes verses, and all joking aside, this is his 3rd duel.
Whose?
Solyoni's.
And the Baron's?
But what about the Baron?
My thoughts are in a muddle. Anyway, you ought not to let them do it. He could wound the Baron or even kill him.
Well, one Baron more or less in the world. What does it matter? mean, he's a fine fellow, but it doesn't matter.
Oh, how they keep on talking all day. To live in such a climate, it may snow any minute. I'm not going indoors, I can't go in there. When Vershinin comes, tell me. And the birds are already flying south. Swans or geese, darlings, happy birds.
Our house will be empty. The soldiers are leaving, you're leaving, Irina's getting married. I shall be left in the house all alone.
Well, what about your wife, my dear boy?
A wife is a wife. Natasha is an excellent, straightforward woman. But something in her makes her no better than some petty, blind, hairy animal. Anyway, she's not even a human being. I speak to you as to a friend, the one man whom I can open my soul. I love Natasha, but sometimes she seems to me absolutely vulgar, and then I don't know what to think. I can't account for my loving her, or anyway having loved her.
You see, my dear boy, I'm heading off tomorrow, and we may never see each other again. So I'm going to tell you this. Put your cap on, you know? Take your stick and just walk off. Walk as far as you can go, and never look back. And the farther you get, the better.
Doctor, it is 2:30.
Right, directly. I'm sick of you all. If anyone asks me, let them know I should be back shortly.
Why are you croaking, old man?
Come.
How do you feel?
Like a pig in clover.
The old man need not excite himself. I'm only gonna shoot him like a snipe. Used a whole bottle today. My hands still smell. Well, still smell like a corpse. Yeah. Do you remember that poem? Through tempest waves and storms of peace or something?
Yes, yes. He had not time to say alack before the bear was on his back.
Papers for you to sign.
Leave me alone, please, I beg you.
That's what the papers are for, to be signed.
I believe that's the only man in town who's glad to see that the officers are going away.
That's natural. The town will be empty now.
Dear, I'll be back directly.
Where are you going?
I must go into town and then to see my comrades off.
That's not true. Nikolai Lvovich, why are you so absent-minded today? What happened yesterday at the theater?
I'll be there in an hour and with you again. My beautiful one. For 5 years I've loved you and I still can't get used to it. You seem to be more and more lovely. What exquisite hair, what eyes. I shall carry you off tomorrow. We'll work, we'll be rich. My dreams will come true and you'll be happy. There's just one thing. You don't love me.
That's not in my power. I'll be your wife, I'll be faithful and obedient, but there's no love. I can't help it. Oh, how I've longed for love. I've been dreaming of it day and night. But my soul is like a piano that's been locked and the key has been lost. You look worried.
I didn't sleep all night. There's never been anything in my life so dreadful that it could frighten me, and only that lost key torments my soul. Say something to me. Say something to me.
What? What is it that you want me to say?
Anything.
Stop it. Stop.
What trifles, what sudden little things apropos of nothing importance in life. You act on them before and think them nonsense, and yet you go on and you act like you don't have the power to stop it. Let's not talk about it. I'm happy. I feel as though I was seeing those ferns, those maples, those birch trees for the first time in my life. And they seem to be looking at me with curiosity and waiting. What beautiful trees, and really, how life ought to be beautiful under them. I must be off. It's time. See, that tree is dead, but it waves in the wind with the others. And so it seems to me that if I were to die, I still be a part of life one way or another. Goodbye, my darling. Those papers yours you gave me are lying under the calendar underneath my table.
I'm coming with you.
No! No! Irina.
What is it?
I didn't have coffee this morning. Ask them to make me some.
Andrei Sergeyevich, the papers are mine. They're the government papers. I didn't invent them.
Oh, where has it all gone? What's become of my past when I was young, happy, and clever? When my thoughts and dreams were exquisite? When my present and my past were lighted by hope? Why, on the very threshold of life, do we become dull, drab, uninteresting, lazy, indifferent, useless, unhappy? Our town has been in existence for 200 years. There are 100,000 people living in it, and there's not one who's not like the rest. Not one saint in the past, not one man of learning, not one artist, not one in the least remarkable who can inspire envy or a passionate desire to imitate him. They all eat, drink, sleep, and then die. Others are born, and they also eat, drink, and sleep. And not to be bored to stupefaction, they vary their lives with nasty gossip, vodka, cards, litigation. And the wives, they cheat on their husbands. And the husbands tell lies and pretend they see and hear nothing. An overwhelmingly vulgar influence crushes the children. The divine spark in them is quenched. And they become the same sort of pitiful dead creatures, all exactly alike as their fathers and their mothers. What do you want?
There are papers to be signed.
You are a nuisance.
The porter from the local court was saying that there was as much as 200 degrees of frost last winter in Petersburg.
When I look to the present, it's hateful. But when I look to the future, it looks so nice. I feel lighthearted. I feel so free. A light dawns in the distance. I see freedom. I see how I and my children will be free from sloth, from kvass, from goose and cabbage, and from mean parasitic living.
The same porter said that over 2,000 people died. The people were terrified. It was either in Petersburg or Moscow. I don't remember.
My sisters, my wonderful sisters. Masha, my sister.
Who is talking so loud out there? Is that you, Andrusha? Oh my God, your weak baby Sophie. Look, if you want to talk, give the baby to somebody else. Fairpont, get the baby from the master.
Yes, ma'am.
But I was speaking quietly. Very well. I'll sign what needs signing, and then I'll go straight to the board.
Vic, what's Mama's name? Oh, darling, darling. Ah, and who is this? This is Auntie Oya. Say to Auntie, good morning, Oya.
Our garden is like a public passage. They walk in right through.
Good morning, Irisha. 1 minute ago, I'm having the time of it. Living in the high school, in the government building. That's what my Lord has Ishka. That's what the Lord has granted to me in my old age. I've never lived so well in my life, sinful woman that I am. It's a big flat. I have my own room and my own bed, all at the government expense. I wake up in the night and, oh Lord, Mother of God, there's no one in the world happier than me.
We're just leaving, Olga Sergeyevna. Time to be off. I wish you every... Where is Maria Sergeyevna?
Oh, she's somewhere in the garden. I'll go look for her.
Oh, if you would be so kind, please. I'm in a hurry.
Masha! Masha!
I'm going to look for her too. Masharika! Ow! Ow! Ow!
Everything comes to an end. Here we are, parting. The town gave us something like a lunch. We drank champagne. The mayor made a speech. I ate and I listened, but my heart was here with you all. I've grown used to you.
Shall we ever see each other again?
Most likely not. My wife and daughters will stay on here for another 2 months. Please, if anything happens, if they need anything...
Yes, yes, of course. Set your mind at rest. By tomorrow, there won't be a soldier left in the town. It'll all turn into a memory. And for us, it'll be like starting a new life. Nothing turns out as we would have it. I did not want to be headmistress, and yet I am. It seems that we are not to live in Moscow.
Well, forgive me if anything was amiss. And I've talked a great deal, too. Please, forgive me for that. Don't think too badly of me.
Why doesn't Masha come?
What am I to say to you in parting? What am I to philosophize about? Life is hard. It seems to many of us dull and hopeless, and yet we must admit that it keeps on getting clearer and easier. And the time we're not far off when it will be full of happiness. But I must go. In the past, men were absorbed in wars and spent their time with raids and marches and victories, but all of that is a thing of the past, leaving behind it a great void with which there is so far nothing to fill it. Mankind is searching passionately for it, and will find it, if only it could come quickly. But I must go. Really, if hard work were united with education, and education with hard work, don't you know, I really must be leaving.
Here she comes.
I've come to say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Don't. Don't.
Write to me. Don't forget me. Let me go. The time is up. Olga Sergeyevna, please take me. I'm late.
There, Masha. Calm yourself, darling.
Never mind, let her cry. Let her. My good Masha, my dear Masha, you are my wife, and I'm happy anyway. I don't complain, I don't say a word of blame. Here, Ola is my witness. We can go back to the life like it was before, and I won't say a word, not a hint.
By the sea-stranded oak tree green upon that oak chain of gold, I'm going mad.
There, Masha. Calm yourself. Give her some water.
I'm not crying now.
She's not crying now, she's being good.
By the sea strand and oak tree green, upon that oak chain of gold, the cat is green, the oak is green. Oh, I'm mixing it up. Oh, I'm going mad. Oh, my life's a failure. I want nothing now. Oh, my thoughts are in a tangle.
There, Masha. Calm yourself. That's a good girl. Let's go indoors.
I don't want to go indoors. I'm not going in there, and I won't.
Even if we don't say anything, I go off tomorrow, you know.
I took a false beard and a mustache from a German boy in the 3rd form yesterday. Here, don't I look like a German teacher, don't I?
You really do look like the German teacher.
Yes. There, Masha.
Awfully like.
Anton Chekhov pushed the baby's carriage. Oh, what a lot there is to do with children. Oh, you're going away tomorrow. What a pity. Why not just stay another week? Oh my God. You gave me a fright. See, I'm used to you, and do you think that'll make it easy for me to part with you? I'll put Andre with his violin to your room. Let him saw away there. And I'll put Sofichka in his room. Oh, adorable, delightful little baby. Isn't she such a good girl? Today she looked at me with such eyes and said, Mama.
Fine child, that's true.
So tomorrow, I'll be all alone here. First of all, I'll have that avenue of fir trees cut down, and then that maple. Oh, it looks so ugly in the evening. Oh, my dear, that sweater does not go with that outfit. Oh, it's in bad taste. You need something brighter. And then I'll have flowers planted everywhere, and there'll be such a... Why is there a fork lying about on that table? Why is there a fork lying about on that table?
She's at it.
I ask you, hold your tongue.
She's at it.
They're going. Oh, yes, our friends are going. Well, a happy journey to them. We must be going. Where are my hat and my cape?
I left them in the house. I'll go get them directly.
Yes, now we can all go home. It's time.
Olga Sergeyevna.
What is it? What?
Nothing. I don't know how to tell you.
It can't be.
What's happened?
What is it?
I'm so tired. I'm worn out. I don't want to talk about it.
This is a terrible day. I don't know how to tell you, my precious. What is it? Tell me. For God's sake, what is it?
The Baron has just been killed in a duel.
I knew. I knew.
Let them cry. I'm so tired. I'm worn out. It doesn't matter.
Oh, listen to that band. They're going away from us. One has gone altogether, gone forever. We're left alone to begin our lives again. We've got to live. We've got to live.
Well, one day, we'll know what all of this is for. We'll know why there's misery. And there'll be no more mystery. And we'll still have to live. And we'll have to work. We'll have to work. I'm gonna go still tomorrow, alone. I'm gonna work in the school. I'm gonna be there for those who may need me. It's autumn now, which means it's almost winter. We'll be covered in snow. And we will work, we will work. I'm just so happy, so confident. I'm long for life. Oh my God, time will pass and we shall go away forever. We shall be forgotten. Our faces forgotten, our voices, how many of us there were. But our sufferings will pass into joy for those who live after us. Happiness and peace will be established upon earth, and they will remember kindly and bless those who lived before. Oh, dear sisters, our life is not yet ended. We shall live. The music is so happy, so joyful, and it seems that in a little while, we shall know what we are living for, why we are suffering. If we only knew. If we only knew.
It doesn't matter.
If we only knew. If we only knew.